Next week, whole new Smallville. A twisted mind
Hello?
will target Clark Kent
Yes, kryptonite bullets.
and anyone
Clark Kent's been murdered.
who stands in the way.
He's not breathing.
All new Smallville, next week on the WB Wednesday.
Pete, this is awesome.
Oh, Clark, hey. Good to see you among the living, man. Check it out. It's the latest talent mix.
Thanks, Pete.
Good to see you all among the living. Welcome to the Talon Mix. It's a Smallville recap podcast with me, Brian, and him, Zach.
Hello, hello.
How you doing, man?
Just really contemplating the ins and outs and sort of nuances of hate crimes based on what I've learned from this week's episode of Smallville.
I'm gonna say this one is a little messy, and chat's gonna have a fucking field day with it.
They tackle the subject of hate crimes with the nuance that you would expect from Smallville.
Yeah, it goes about as well as you might assume. This is, of course, a Smallville recap podcast. Today, we're going to be covering the third episode of season 3, Exctinction. Let's see, we are live here on a Sunday night at twitch.tv/Goblin Voice, but we're also available wherever you get your podcasts. Podcast version, of course, comes out on Fridays. That said, we'll get into this problematic episode. It's not overall that it's messy in the way like the X-Men movies are kind of messy in like
I don't think it's not like an offensive episode, really.
Right.
It's just like it's
a little like freshman in high school, like the parallels of superheroes.
Yes.
And real life issues in the world. That said, before we get into that, Zach, what have you been watching this week?
Have you caught up on Obi-Wan yet?
I have not caught up on Obi-Wan yet. I know. I didn't get around to it.
We just need to talk about it. What did I watch? Oh, I saw Micah Monroe movie Watcher.
I haven't heard of that.
It came out in the theater. You know Micah Monroe.
Remind me.
Is that her name? Wait, maybe I'm totally fucking it up. Now I'm gonna Google it. No, that's her name. From It Follows.
Oh no, okay. Oh, okay.
She just came out with a thriller called Watcher. I thought it was pretty good.
I haven't heard of that at all. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
about that.
watch the trailer. I won't spoil anything, but yeah, it was a solid thriller. Hour 45. Good tight thriller. Hit all the notes. Yeah, fun time at the movies.
Yeah, shit. I'll definitely theatrical release and everything.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow, it's been a while since I haven't heard of that at all. Weird.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's a big release, but I got it here.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely check that
theater. What else did I watch? I can't remember. So that's like, this is sad. This is really sad. It's been.
I had a low key week too,
and I can't remember what I watched days ago. I started Stranger Things, so I'm not even through the first episode. It's fine. It was good. I just did not.
It's I would say the whole season ranks from fine to, and then it picks up steam and gets to pretty good. I'd say I'd land on a pretty solid, pretty good.
Great.
I didn't watch much this week. I did see for the first time. Are you a Twin Peaks fan at all?
Oh yeah, I saw your review. So I have seen. I think it was during pandemic. I watched pretty much the whole first season, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I did not watch much after that though. So I didn't finish the second season, and I never saw the movie, but I've heard the movie is like the bleakest fucking experience.
It's interesting. So I saw Twin Peaks in high school. I like it fine. I've never been in a cultish, like, obsessive with it. And so my wife and I always have this little project where, like, we make our way through kind of a director's entire, like, filmography. And
Oh God, you're making your way through David Lynch. You poor soul. Wait, did you start like?
we start from the beginning. We start from the beginning. And
So
like,
you watched Dune.
Dune is the lowest of the low I think I have truly ever felt.
I turned Dune off, man.
It's-
Of course, we're talking about the 1980s Dune.
Yes.
Yes, I turned it off, and I've read the book. So, like, I was like, no, I can't do it.
I'm also like, I don't even like Dune that much.
Right, we talked about that.
Right.
We're on the same page with Dune, I think.
Right. And that movie is brutal, which I think David Lynch would agree with. He's I believe attempted to take his name off of it. But so we're making our way through David Lynch, and we got to, let's see, we did what's the Nicolas Cage, Laura Dern one? Wild at Heart.
Wild at Heart.
Which was Buck Wild. And then, so Fire Walk with Me was next. And even though, like, we don't normally do, like, TV projects, Twin Peaks does feel like an essential Lynch work. So we were like, okay, let's do Twin Peaks. And Emily had never seen it before. I saw it in high school, like I said. And I was kind of hoping that as an adult, like, rewatching it, it would kind of ignite something that had never, like, ignited. And I would be as excited about it as people have always been. Like, I want to play. And
Right.
it didn't really. I watched the first season, and then Emily was like, well, I want to finish. And I'm like, go ahead. You don't have to wait for me. I've seen it. I don't need to see. Season 1's the good season.
Yeah. Well, also, I get the feeling that I saw a review when I was reading your review on Letterboxd. I saw someone comment, like, I was just read the first sentence in their review, and they're like, I had this spoiled for me. And I'm like, I feel even though Twin Peaks, the show, revolves around a single mystery, I don't know the answer to the mystery, but I feel that you can't spoil it, and it doesn't fucking matter. Because
it's not about the mystery.
No, it is a vibes.
Right.
Like, it's a David Lynch thing. It's
Right.
not about answers.
Right.
It's about questions. You know, like,
And the movie, so Fire Walk with Me is the movie that came out a year later, completely inaccessible if you have not seen the show. Utterly inaccessible.
Is it inaccessible if you haven't seen the second season? Because I've seen the first season.
I mean, let me put it this way: it's an inaccessible movie. And like I like I said, I haven't seen the second season since high school, and God help me, I was lost as fuck. But that's the movie, and like kind of you can kind of have fun in that. I quite liked it. Liked is a strong word. I had a good time experiencing it and then talking about it afterwards with my wife.
Did you have a good time, or you were interested? Like, I've heard it's just so bleak.
It's so interesting as a Twin Peaks liker, but not like a fan in the way fans of that show are. It wasn't that far off for me. It was certainly darker, but I did not. It wasn't that far off from the show for me.
Okay.
It's certainly dark. The themes it's playing with are very dark, and kind of the revelations of. I think David Lynch's primary interest. Emily and I have talked a lot about it as we've been watching David Lynch. Lynch's primary fascination, I think, as a filmmaker is decay, or take this nice thing, a beautiful suburban neighborhood, and show how it's rotting underneath. Mulholland Drive is beautiful LA and dreams of film, and it's rotting underneath. And it's I think Fire Walk with Me especially takes a perfect nuclear family that is actually so incredibly fucked up on a deep, almost supernatural level.
So when you're done, so you just finished Fire Walk with Me.
Yes.
Are you going to watch the newer Twin Peaks show now, or are you going to wait until that happened in his...
I don't know if we'll get to that. I think we're going to go back to the films, and then we're good with the films. Like I said, I'm a liker, not a huge fan. Because
I've heard that new show is even better than the original. And
interesting.
I mean, that's what I've heard, but
It's yeah. I guess we'll see how we feel. That might not be part of the project. That might just go on the pile at some point. Like I said, I've never been as enamored with it as a lot of people are. You know, and it's gonna happen about, you know.
When you get to Mulholland Drive, let me know on this podcast because I will tell you my Mulholland Drive story.
Hell yeah! I've seen. We're hitting the David. I had not seen Eraserhead. I had not seen Elephant Man. And I had not seen Dune or Wild at Heart. So we're now entering David Lynch territory that I've seen all of. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, you know, and picking a director is actually a nice project because it's always been like, what do you want to do? And then like, all right, I guess we just have to pull the next one off the shelf.
Yeah, so that's like the hunting down the streaming service that has the
Lynch has been tough.
Yeah, right. You have to pay for it. Yeah,
right.
You have to just pay for it.
We're up to what's next? It's the Bill Pullman Lost Highway is next, and I just have to buy the DVD of that. That's
the DVD. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's the David Lynch section of our Smallville podcast.
Okay, now Mission Impossible. The Mission Impossible.
We'll do 20 minutes on Mission Impossible, another 40 minutes on Top Gun Maverick.
Yes. Well, actually, I was joking, but did you see the Mission Impossible trailer?
I did. And it's just money shot.
Right. And I'm not going to say it like looks like a great movie, but I know it will be.
Right. I can't say like, yeah, the trailer, I can't say excited me other than it's coming, and I better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're closer now. Right. We're closer.
I have no reason to think it won't. I'm a little like, you can't top Fallout. So like I'm a little bit setting my expectations.
Yes,
that true. Might be the best popcorn spy movie ever made, period. It's probably the mic drop. But I do also think like they're not showing us, it's like the opposite of a lot of trailers where they show you the best stuff in the trailers. I think this one, they're like, we don't want to show you the money stunts. Right.
Yet.
It's especially, I never know how I feel about like the two-parter thing.
I feel terrible about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's ever worked, and I'm nervous about that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
But I'm also like, you know, here's the thing. McQuarrie's a very good screenwriter. It's, you know, we talk a lot about like his action and like obviously after Mission Impossible, but like he wrote The Usual Suspects. He's an incredible screenwriter. So do I think I think scripts are a priority for him. So I hope.
Certainly. I also think if any franchise is going to be able to survive the two-part thing, it's Mission Impossible, because I'm not really that concerned about the story.
I can't tell you the story of any of the bad guy Tom Cruise jump off of things.
I'm sure Christopher McQuarrie would be like, "Fuck you! No, you like it. The story is really an important part of it.
It's paced. It's the pacing's always really good. It's the thing. I never know that I don't know what's happening while I'm watching it.
The story is important, and that it gets me to the next action scene in a timely manner.
That's the thing. It was like. They're good scripts. They are good screenplays.
Mm-hmm,
that doesn't, but it doesn't matter that the story doesn't matter. The story just doesn't matter. That's okay.
And I don't think if like a lot of the two-parter things, it's like they're stretching the story. They don't have enough story. They're stretching it out, or it's a cliffhanger and it feels unsatisfying. And but like I don't care with with Mission Impossible. It's like you can have a cliffhanger, whatever. I give a fuck. That's fine.
Right.
Let me see him jump off the spaceship into the submarine, or whatever he's gonna do.
As long as it has a narratively satisfying 3-act like structure, I don't see a problem. As long as like the part 1 has an ending, I think that's fine. But we'll see. They're making them together, right? I think it's been a really marred production because of COVID.
Yeah, well, I was seeing that article about it. I don't think they have. I don't know. I can't remember now. COVID. There's a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on. All right. Should we get into the television show Smallville?
Yeah.
Where Tom Cruise does not. Let's talk about Smallville.
Yeah. Yeah, if this is your first podcast, just from now on, just go ahead and skip to 20 minutes in on every podcast if you want to hear about Smallville.
In the podcast version, I am putting the time marker where the actual recap starts.
That's what I told you to do from the beginning, and you called me a coward.
It is cowardly, but
it's necessary.
But I also understand a full 20 minutes of two chuckle fucks, just like, I like Mission Impossible.
Talking about literally nothing. This is why people hate podcasts, what we just did. It's why people hate podcasts.
It's a growing industry, Zach. So we're, of course, reading straight from the Smallville wiki, smallville.fandom.com. We're on the season 3, episode 3, Exctinction. Pull it up for yourself and follow along. That said, this wiki article has a fantastic edition, and so don't scroll too far down if you don't want to be spoiled on the excellent thing. Zach, I'm going to say the Smallville wiki this week pulled a full Talon Mix move.
Oh, man, that's great because I haven't read it this week, so I'm going to be just surprised along with the audience here.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get to what they've done. So Exctinction is the 3rd episode in the 3rd season of Smallville and the 47th episode overall. It aired October 15th, 2003. Okay. Here we go. At the beginning of the school year, Van McNulty is teasing his friend Jake Pollan for admiring Lana Lang from afar. Later, while Lana is swimming in the pool alone, Jake attacks her. Lana puts up a good fight, but Jake can breathe underwater, and he holds her down until she almost drowns. Suddenly, a mystery shooter kills the boy, saves Lana, and disappears. It's a full, like in Mission Impossible,
Okay, we got to break down a few things here,
also,
Brian.
In our chat, because once again, we are live here at twitch.tv/Goblin Voice, the state of Arizona. Wow, this sucks already.
Oh yeah, just wait. Did we make a mistake not starting a Lana stalker count for this show?
I mean, this might, probably. We'll get it on the next go around.
Or maybe that's too specific. Maybe like Lana Chloe attempted assault. Because you got Bug Boy stalked her, Tina Greer stalked her, this dude stalked her, Clark watched her with his telescope.
Clark, I don't know if is completely immune from that list.
No. Yeah, we would have to get really. What? Wait.
In the chat, State of Arizona says, "Hey Zach, what does that mean? Clark did fucking what?"
Oh, see, Brian, this is why you have to release season 1 like the fans want. The fans want it. Yes, Clark used to spy. Is that the right word? He used to watch Lana from his barn.
Longingly watch his neighbor through a telescope in his barn.
Yeah.
Alone.
Yes. It was portrayed as a sweet longing thing, as it is in real life, and not creepy or stalkerish or a violation. Yeah, no violation. He would watch her make out with her 80-year-old boyfriend Whitney on the porch.
Right.
I believe he could also see into her room. I don't know, or could he?
It's not good.
That might have been Bug Boy. I can't remember.
Might have been Bug Boy.
But he definitely watched her with his telescope, so he would be on the list.
He's on the list, I think.
Okay, so here's my big issue with this scene, other than all the issues that I'm not going to talk about.
We'd be here all night.
Lana is swimming alone at this public high school swimming pool at night, and there aren't any lights on other than the lights in the pool.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
At your high school, did you have access to the swimming pool at night or at any point by yourself?
No, at no point.
Look, lighting is a problem. Obviously, we know there's a light bulb shortage.
If the hospital can't get light bulbs, the fucking high school swimming pool's not getting light bulbs. You got to unscrew them and bring them to the hospital.
Bro, I would not swim alone in a swimming pool at night with no lights on. Like, I wouldn't do that by myself in a
In
public,
those
like,
giant like high school fucking swimming pools,
yeah,
and the
like
light
Olympic
is
swimming
the water
pool.
is reflecting off of no,
No.
and like the creepy noise. No, fucking forget about it. Fucking forget about it.
Right. And Lana's just like, why is she at the school in the middle of the night? I don't think she's on swim team, is she?
I don't think so. She's been swimming a couple of times in the show.
She knows the janitor, and she's like, you know what? I really want to swim. Can you just let me in?
Right.
Yeah, that's one question. Another question: this dude can breathe underwater because he has gills. Can he breathe chlorine in?
I mean, clearly.
Because fish can't live in chlorine.
Right. Well, he's got meteor rock gills, so actually
Yeah,
he
that's
needs the
true. It's a
maybe
whole
he
different
needs
thing.
the chlorine.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I thought that was absurd and wonderful.
It's pretty nuts. So at the bottom of the swimming pool is a meteor rock with the word freak scratched into it. The next day at school, Clark disagrees with Pete's assessment that the shooter was a hero. Clark rejoins the Torch staff and launches an investigation to learn the identity of the mysterious shooter. Chloe reveals her personal database. She has started a file on everyone she remotely suspects being affected by the meteors, including Jake and Lex.
Ooh. So that's
I think I maybe missed the cue. I think that was maybe earlier.
it doesn't matter. No one who listens or watches this podcast watches the show with us, so you can make it up however you want. So that scene that you just read about opens with a shot of Pete picking up the latest issue of The Torch, which apparently is like a 30-page volume when they released it. And also, the front page story is about a student at the Torch being assaulted in the school pool by another student at the Torch, or another student at the school. And like the picture of the assaulted student is on the front page, that being Lana.
That's nuts. Also, do you know? I never paid attention. Is the Smallville Torch like on like newsprint? Are they implying that the Smallville Torch, like Smallville High, has like a printing press that they use daily?
Well, it's not like it's like a weekly, but it does appear to be newsprint. I think. I don't know. I can't vouch for that, but I know that it's a giant tome and it appears to be daily, and they write about assaults of students. The school's out of control, Brian.
It's out of control. Whoever's administration this is, it's a nightmare. Sure, fewer students are dying, but not for lack of trust. Well, no, dead student. We got one. Exactly. We got one.
Yeah, we're on the board. So, my other favorite thing about that scene is how Allison Mack pronounces the word vigilante. Did you hear this?
I did not hear this.
She called him a vigilante.
Oh, baby.
Vigilante. That sounds like a coffee drink or something.
Yeah, I'll have the vigilante.
A dessert, fancy dessert. The vigilante.
Someone needs to come up with the vigilante, a dessert that we can make on the show and eat it.
A vigilante. It sounds delicious, Brian.
It does. I want it now. Clark interviews Lana to find out that Jake was with Van McNulty early on the day she was attacked. Lana complains that Clark has been avoiding her and states that he doesn't need an excuse to come see her. This is ridiculous, but also they're both kind of bringing it, and it works.
Yes, it's absurd. Teen drama nonsense.
I always love this idea of like, did you have? Granted, they're in high school, so like they kind of have to be around each other on some. Did you hang out with a lot of your exes like regularly? when you're not staffed on the same show and like everyone's still a main character and needs to appear in every single episode.
Right. No. I've had an ex that I'm on really good terms with, and we see each other once in a while, but not like this. And like they didn't have like a good relationship, Clark and Lana.
He like fucked off for 3 months.
Although they didn't really even have a relationship. They were like holding hands for a week.
They had, a couple days max. And then he fucked off for 3 months.
They cuddled. They did like a spooning in the park.
Right.
They had a picnic, a romantic picnic, and they made out a little bit. So like, is that long enough of a relationship for it to be super weird when you just go back to being?
It is high school, and like a week is forever in high school.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
All right.
No, I don't.
And it's also a whole summer has happened in between season 2 and season 3.
The absurd part about it, Brian, is that Lana, who has been burned by this motherfucker so many times, sees him for the first time in a week or whatever, and is like, "You don't need an excuse to come visit me." It's like,
yeah.
Run, Lana, run!
You don't need this.
Yeah.
You were an accomplished young woman.
You run
a business.
Restaurant. You run a business by yourself at age 16. You don't need him.
Lana! Chloe interrupts the interview to share photos from Jake's autopsy showing that he had gills. Because once again, this high schooler is able to get pictures from an autopsy for her school newspaper.
Brian, she just hacks into the mainframe.
Right. Sorry. Of course. My mistake.
Yeah, that's just get on the mainframe, man. It's all on there.
Just get on just pass the firewall onto the mainframe. You're there.
Yep.
All the pictures
from your school Macintosh. Your Generation 1 iMac or whatever the fuck she's got.
So Lana expresses disgust, and Clark remarks that the bullet wound is more disturbing. Lana does not apologize for her lack of sympathy, saying she and Chloe have both been attacked more than once by meteor freaks. She points out that Clark has saved them, making him no different than the vigilante who shot Jake.
She refers to Tina Greer as a bone warper.
Yes, that is the word they use.
And she does it so nonchalant, like that's like, and we all know what a bone warper is.
I bone warp, you bone warp, we all bone warp.
Bone warp.
Just a regular old Class A bone warper.
That sounds like a name of a porno.
It is now.
The writers are doing Lana dirty again, Brian.
What else is new?
They're doing Kristen Crook a disservice. This is we need conflict, so let's make her defend the murderer. I don't know. It's like
yeah, definitely.
They're straining to make conflict between them here. Right. I think. I don't know. Am I wrong?
I'm 100% with you. Okay, Clark argues that no one asked to be exposed to the meteor rocks and claims he has never killed anyone. Is that true?
Right.
Oh, they actually do push back on that with the Tina Greer thing.
Lana says, what about Tina Greer? Because she was impaled in the back alley, and he's like, she did that to herself. I guess my problem is, like, Lana was in the pool, someone attacked her, and then someone shot that person and left the scene. And Lana's like, that person's a hero. Wouldn't you be like, that's weird?
That's weird. That's a weird
I'm glad
thing.
I got saved, but like whoever was in the school pool with a gun
right.
is probably not a hero.
Right. I also have a general Smallville question. So, how like pervasive? And the episode kind of a little, I feel like wishy-washes a little bit. How pervasive? Like, how much does the general population are they aware of meteor freakness?
Yes, this is I feel like they're inconsistent on it.
Yeah.
They do the thing every episode where once Clark saves the day, they never show us the aftermath of the police or the person getting taken away or anything like that. So we don't know. They never show us.
And we have autopsy photos of a boy with gills.
Right, but they mention like, oh, they'll never show this to whatever. It'll never leak out.
Got it. But it's in the school newspaper, thankfully, or it will be.
But this actually comes up later with Lex, so I'll wait till it comes up then. But I don't know, Brian. I think right in this episode, they're trying to tell us that only Clark and Chloe and Pete and Lana know about the meteor freaks.
Right.
And like everyone else just thinks that there's some explanation for these things.
Right. And that's silly. It's
yes.
Smallville, we've talked about it before, but Smallville's big template is Buffy. And Buffy kind of got away with like the supernatural thing of, and like Buffy's part of like an ancient order that kind of has to keep these away from people. So like it all kind of makes sense in its own little world. Smallville's struggling with that big time.
Their solution is just to not address it at all and just don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Which I will say, I really didn't think much about it until this episode. This was the episode I went, wait. So, I don't know. I guess it's working. Lex reports for his new job at Luthor Corp and learns that Lionel has taken out a $50 million life insurance policy on him. Lionel claims that it's standard for all upper-level executives at Luthor Corp, but Lex is not comfortable with it. Lionel makes it clear that he cannot work at Luthor Corp without signing the policy. Chloe goes to visit Lionel in Metropolis and gives him her final article for her Daily Planet column. She is turning in her resignation today, stating that her friendship with Clark is too important to her. Okay, so basically this is feeding into a storyline where Lionel is offering Chloe some things in exchange for information on Clark. Something that has never actually like come up the only times we hear about it are when Lionel like goes to Chloe. We never have like 10 scenes where Chloe is giving information she shouldn't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's just I don't remember if that comes up more actually, or if it's just one of those false start storylines that happens.
It does definitely goes places. I don't know if she ever gives him information about Clark. I can't remember that. I don't think so. I think it's just her battling, trying to get out from under Lionel's grasp, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. It's we never see we just haven't seen the effects of we haven't seen her try to sneak anything or.
I love Lionel's right where we want him to be, which is blackmailing a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, let me get through this. Lionel does not let her walk away so easily and tells her father will be disappointed. That's your father will be disappointed. And
yes.
So Chloe's of course like, what? And then explaining that Lionel has promoted him and will super fucking fire him if this 16-year-old.
He promoted him, and then Chloe's dad bought a house.
Right.
And Lionel will fire him. And the best is, she's like, you can't do that to him. And then Lionel just goes, yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Oh, John Glover. We love him.
This is, like I've said before, this season is peak Lionel evil. He's not to the peak yet. It's only going to get worse. But this is the peak. This is the most mustache twirly he gets in the show.
So good. So Chloe's father will be disappointed to find himself unemployed since he just got a promotion and put a sizable down payment on a new house in Brat Flats, a luxury community. Trapped, Chloe sadly leaves. Thanks, Wiki. Okay. Moving on, Clark corners Van McNulty. I love how they use Van McNulty every single time in the wiki. Clark corners Van McNulty in the school hallways. Van is listening to a police scanner and tells Clark he's listening to find out when they catch the person who killed Jake.
Yeah, Brian, police scanner, big red flag for any person ever if they have a police scanner.
There's no reason.
Huge red flag. You know anyone with a police scanner?
That's just dads in garages with no other hobbies. Those are the only people who have police scanners.
Or sketchy vigilantes.
Vigilante. Okay. Clark learns that he and Van McNulty and his father were very close. Chloe discovers that Jake is not the first victim. 2 other bodies have been found with meteor rocks next to them. One of them was Leonard Wallace, a mechanic that Chloe suspected might have some kind of stretching ability after she saw him reach 3 feet under her car to grab a wrench. Clark's research has turned up the fact that Van's father, Lieutenant McNulty, was murdered by Tina Greer last year. Tina had a victim we didn't see.
No, that was the guy who came to Whitney's mom's house.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I highlighted that line for sure where Chloe talks about how she saw a mechanic reach 3 feet under a car to grab a wrench or something. And she says, I started a file on him in case he had some sort of stretching ability. That's a weird, that's a leap for Chloe to make.
It's a leap.
But it's right. You know, he might have a stretching ability. I better start a file on this guy.
Okay. Chloe concludes that Van is now avenging his father's death by targeting metahumans, which is not a word we are using in the show yet, Wiki. They're meteor freaks.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Do we ever use metahuman in the show? That's like a very DC thing.
Oh, I don't know.
Because you can't say superheroes. They're metahumans, Zach.
Yeah, probably eventually. Who knows? I can't remember.
God, I hate superhero media. Be dumb and for children. Clark and Pete go to the McNulty hunting cabin looking for evidence. They find an impressive arsenal of weapons as well as a hit list tacked on the wall. Not a good place to put your hit list. Just throwing that one out. That's really convenient.
Yeah, like right on the wall.
Right on the wall?
Real quick, but I almost forgot. That scene with Chloe is one where she says that this is Smallville's own version of a hate crime.
Which, you know what? I'm going to throw it out there. All white Canadian teens. It very well might be.
A lot of white Canadians in Kansas. So why does Clark, we've been over this, but why does he insist on bringing Pete along for these fucking break-ins?
Because Pete is getting paid a full-time salary for this fucking television show, and we're gonna put him in the fucking episode.
Pete implies that this has been a long hike out to this cabin.
Yes.
Clark has super speed, so he could have been in and out in 30 seconds. And also, they're breaking into a supposed killer's cabin. Clark has invulnerability and super speed, and Pete doesn't. And he's like, "You got to come with me, Pete.
You gotta
cabin."
Oh, and like, let's be real. And like, granted, it maybe be like a little humiliating, but Clark could easily scoop Pete up and then just bring them there. And it's like, Clark's like, "No, we're gonna go for a hike."
Yeah.
March, Pete.
Pete should have a little Bjorn that Clark just carries him around in.
March, Pete.
The best part about the scene, the way it's written, is that Pete is way more concerned about getting caught than Clark. I wonder why. Oh, poor Pete. Pete, get out of town. Run, Pete. Run.
Pete, go vaguely to Florida. Okay, let's see. They find an impressive arsenal of weapons as well as a hit list tacked to the wall. They realize Lex Luthor is the next name on the list. Clark speeds to Metropolis just in time to catch a bullet fired at the back of Lex's head. Van witnesses Clark catch the bullet before Clark chases him down. When Clark catches Van, the several meteor rocks tumble out of his bag and Clark is incapacitated.
Clark tackles Van. I don't know why he needed to do that because he has super strength. He could have just like pushed him over, and because he tackles him, then he's on the ground and the rocks fall out and he can't get up. But
the state of Arizona says, "Oh, now we can speak." He didn't make Pete hop a train with him. Like, we're going to
Pete, you have to dive in front of this bullet to stop from hitting Lex.
Do it, Pete. You want to stay on the television show, Pete?
No, I want to go to Florida.
So Van realizes that bullets might not hurt Clark, but the rocks do. Van escapes as Luthor Corp's security approaches. Clark and Lex wonder why Lex was on Van's hit list. When Lionel comes in to check on Lex, he informs him that the life insurance has hit a snag because of so many near-death experiences. Lex wonders out loud why he hasn't been sick since the meteor shower. We've now gotten to a fantastic Lex storyline where Lex sits there and wonders, am I Superman?
Yes. First of all, when Clark and Lex talk about it, Lex doesn't seem to know about the meteor rocks yet and their theory that they give people powers.
Which is...
What about the invisible boy that tried to kill him? Or the bone warper that took his identity and robbed a bank?
Or the shrine of research you've been doing around town.
Yes.
The meteor stuff didn't fucking click any goddamn buttons there.
This was the thing with the major inconsistency, I feel like, where the writers are like, oh, maybe Lex doesn't know yet. No.
It feels more like it was, does Lex know? Have we definitively said that Lex knows? And someone, who cares?
Yeah, right. They're like, this goes on once a week. Yeah. No one's ever going to watch these things back to back.
I like, oh, what? Someone in fucking 2022 want a fucking podcast? Two adult men are going to be like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that would be like the equivalent of them being like, one day in the future, they're going to watch every episode and discuss this on the radio.
We're in 2003. We're a couple years away, I think, from the first, like 2005, I think we start seeing like initial podcasting stuff, which I'm sure was quickly nerd superhero related.
I mean, the first podcast might have been a Smallville recap show.
It's not entirely implausible. I was listening to podcasts by the time we were in Vancouver. I was downloading them onto my computer and then manually putting them onto my iPod.
Yes. So the scene with Lex and Lionel is basically just a rip off of Unbreakable. Mm-hmm. Where he's like, I
didn't clock that, but you're exactly correct.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Unbreakable's a good fucking movie.
It is. Unbreakable's really good. But yeah, if you're going to steal from the best, I guess.
Right. Let's see. Clark asks Chloe why she thinks Van went after Lex. So she offers her theory that Lex was targeted because he has survived so many near-death experiences. She also shows him her file on Lex with his medical charts, which indicate that he has an elevated...
He has Lex's medical charts off the mainframe. Just get them off the mainframe.
Zach, just go into the mainframe. I mean, I'm gonna be real. If they're on Smallville Medical Center's fucking mainframe, they are probably just there publicly posted.
Their mainframe. Yeah,
their
it's just like the website.
It's just a... What was the old Google like web pages or GeoCities? It's just a GeoCities page with like a big blinking like please don't look.
Yeah, it's like those like when you used to go on a porn site, it's like, are you over 18? No one could possibly click yes if they weren't.
Right. You know what's funny about those? Like, I was just realizing, like, oh, it's not actually like no one was like, oh, this will stop you. It's more just like, hey, my kid got onto the site. I was like, well,
Yeah.
they said they were 18. Not our
They said they were
responsibility.
18. What am I supposed to do?
Right. How can anyone get past that? So Chloe shows Lex's medical charts, which, you know what? Lex has gotten like literally into Clark's blood, so like I'm gonna go tit for tat here.
Oh, I'm not shedding tears for Lex.
So he has an elevated white blood cell count. Clark notes that Chloe's file matches the hit list, and Chloe is horrified to realize that Van had access to the database when he networked the new computers. Clark, he got into the mainframe, Zach.
Van, another person who apparently worked at the Talon or at the Torch that we never
Right.
heard about before.
Clark gives the list to Sheriff Adams in hopes of catching Van before he makes his next hit. Lana asks about Lex, and Clark ends up giving her another lecture on tolerance.
Oh, way to go, Wiki. Well done.
The state of Arizona real fast says Smallville Medical doesn't use two-factor authentication. Have you been forced into a whole bunch of two-factor authentication things?
I don't know what that. Oh, that's like
That's like your email you punch in your email password, and then it has to send something to your phone. I understand security is important, and like, you know, it's probably I understand it's ultimately probably a good thing. Can I check mark a box that I accept all risks? I just want to use my same fucking password.
Right, yeah. Exactly, yeah. I'm lazy. Let me into the site.
I'm lazy and like go ahead and steal my identity. Good luck, fucker.
Right, yeah. Or what if my phone, like the battery's out or something? I don't know. It's like a lot. You're assuming a lot about
You're
me.
assuming a lot.
So Sheriff Adams asks surprisingly few questions when the high schooler presents her with a hit list. Clark brings her a hit list.
Clark, who's been on her radar as a potentially problem.
She's like, problem. Yeah. She's like, he's like, here's this hit list that we found. And it has it's like 2 people that have been killed already and 1 person that have been attacked. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I'll look into it. Like, or what, you know, it's like she brushes him off. She's very skeptical. I would take Clark into questioning.
Right.
It was a different time. I know, fuck that. In 2003, you would have been
right. Columbine happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so hiding in the woods, Van manufactures kryptonite bullets. Amazing. An amazingly industrious child.
Yes,
kryptonite bullets.
We cut to him doing shirtless sit-ups around the campfire.
This kid is somebody. He
was I think he was in a movie around. I think he was in time.
Mean Girls. Is that this guy?
No, it was like I can't remember. Some teen rom-com.
I'm pulling up. It's Jesse Metcalf. Okay, he was Jesse who's in Desperate Housewives. He was in John Tucker Must Die.
John Tucker Must Die. Okay. Do you think it was in his contract that he had to have a shot with his shirt off? Because he's in real good shape. So he's like,
yeah. Who benefited more from the shirtless bit, him or Smallville? Because Smallville also wants the teen hunks, you know?
That's true. No, that's definitely true. I mean, maybe it was just a mutual thing. It was like, yeah, perfect.
Right. Oh my God. Yes. I'm on his IMDb right now. Who's the guy in Mean Girls? But yeah, he's in John Tucker Must Die. He is also in a movie I've seen several times, God's Not Dead 2, starring Melissa Joan Hart.
Oh, good. That's wonderful.
So he is in God's Not Dead 2. He plays an atheist lawyer defending Melissa Joan Hart's right to prayer in schools. To pray in school.
Oh, does she win him over?
I believe they are romantically inclined at the end. I don't know if he has an amazing God revelation, but I believe it's implied that he could get there.
Do I need to watch this movie, Brian?
Should we? Should we watch it together?
Maybe that'll be a Halloween episode one year, or Smallville.
We should bank a bunch of movie recaps to put out if we like.
Yes. Oh, it's a great idea. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's got to be better than The Fog.
Dude, that is the lowest bar I think any fucking movie has ever hit.
So this scene where he's in the forest making kryptonite bullets, basically what he does is he melts the meteor rock down to a substance that resembles Gatorade, and then pours it into a mold, like a molding for a bullet. He does this, melts down the rock over a campfire without wearing a shirt. I feel like I would put some layers on, probably if I was working with liquefied rock.
How do you do your liquid? You don't do that shirtless?
Like, have you ever cooked bacon without a shirt on, Brian? It's like
it's the only way I know how. I'm covered in scars.
Just nipple burns.
The grease does keep like targeting my nipples. It's really terrible. Yes.
So imagine that, but with something that's like lava. I don't know. Maybe he's like, it won't matter if I'm wearing the shirt or not because it'll just go right through anyway. Weird decision by him.
Okay. So Van is manufacturing his kryptonite bullets. He stakes out the Kent farm. Clark and Jonathan are delivering hay to the feed troughs and talking about Lana's attitude towards kryptonite-infected people. Clark wonders if he's any better than Van, since he himself has defeated or imprisoned many metahumans. Thank you again, Wiki. He says he talked to Lana about tolerance, but he too always assumes the worst. Van watches the exchange, and when Jonathan leaves, he shoots. Clark tries to nonchalantly catch the bullet in super speed, but to his astonishment, it goes through his hand and lodges into his shoulder. Clark falls instantly, calling for his dad. The kryptonite quickly poisoning Clark, he passes out as Jonathan and Martha extract the bullet from his shoulder with pliers and a knife. Annette O'Toole, I feel like, is doing some very good work with some very silly dialogue. I believe at one point has to straight face, the kryptonite is spreading through his veins too fast.
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm. Jonathan!
Yeah. When Martha takes the kryptonite away, his wounds heal instantly, but Clark remains unconscious.
Take a little nap.
State Arizona says we're owed a stream where you watch and recap a movie together after the Talon Mix app.
Yes, so Brian, you won the competition, and you get to pick a movie for us to recap together. Right. There was talk of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Cool. I'm tapping my forehead. Cool.
we owe the people.
We owe the people. Okay, cool.
This is your chance to get me to watch something. So
I gotta think
choose
about it.
wisely.
Fuck.
Choose wisely. Yeah, like I have to watch it.
Yeah.
For this.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Clark wakes up. Oh no, sorry, I skipped ahead. After shooting Clark, Van goes to Lana and asks her to help him hide from the police. Lana urges him to turn himself in, and Van gets angry. He tells her that Clark is bulletproof, but he made special bullets and killed Clark. Lana pushes him down a staircase and calls the police to report Clark's murder before Van abducts her. I can't tell if Lana's reaction to her friend got murdered is accurate.
What about it?
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I guess really truthfully, it's just a silly premise more than a silly reaction on any single performer's part.
Wait, you broke up for me. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I guess it's really just more a silly premise than any issue on like a performance end.
She does seem to be sad. That Clark was killed.
It's yeah, I take it back. I retract my statement. I think it was just a silly scene more than any.
I mean, anytime we can pretty much always blame the writing over Kristen Crook.
Yeah, absolutely.
She brings it. She brings it, and she's just working with what she's got.
1,000,000%. Clark wakes up eager to find Van. His parents want him to rest, but he insists that he fully recovered and he must go stop Van. The sheriff arrives in response to Lana's call, and she is annoyed to see that Clark is in fact not dead. It's kind of a I've been prank called situation.
Yes, she's not upset that he's
She's not upset
alive.
that he's not dead. She's upset that she's been called that he's been dead.
Yeah.
Clark uses the police radio to lure Van to the school. Van loads Lana into his truck and plans to hit Clark with an entire clip of kryptonite bullets. It's Clark does. It should have been cooler. But Clark, knowing he has the police scanner, goes out to the police radio and just basically is like, "You didn't kill me."
You just did a way better performance. No, what happens is he's inside the house in the front doorway, standing behind his parents, and the sheriff's there. And after he hears about Lana being kidnapped, he super speeds away. You hear the, and then it cuts to, well, they do that like, where'd he go? Oh. And then it cuts to him. He leans into the cop car, which is parked out front of the house. So he just super sped 10 feet away. And he leans in and says over the thing, like, "You want to settle this? Like, meet me where I saw your dad's picture," which is the school hallway. Right. But like, this is over the police radio, so don't other police hear this? That
in theory, unless though that said, I think the Smallville police are about as effective as Smallville Medical.
That's true. Yeah.
They could be sitting there at those radios, but like, would these do things?
Okay, so we're in the school. Shooting possibly about to happen.
Okay. So Van loads Lana into the truck, plans to hit Clark with an entire clip of kryptonite bullets. This time, when Van opens fire, it has no effect. Van and Lana are stunned, but Lana takes Van out with a well-placed spin kick.
Yeah, she launches him like 10 feet into a glass trophy case. It's pretty great. There's some sloppy writing in this scene.
In this episode, you mean?
Sure, but this scene specifically, Van says, like, "I'm going to show you that your boyfriend's a freak." So he shoots him, like the idea being that she's going to see that he's invulnerable to getting shot. But he's shooting him with kryptonite bullets, which he knows will kill him.
Right.
And then the bullets hit the bulletproof vest, and he's surprised. Like, it's all sorts of sloppy.
It's pretty messy.
What is Van's goal in that scene?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
is he trying to kill Clark, or is he trying to show her that he's a freak?
Yeah, maybe a little both. I don't know. I think you're right that it's just messy. It
wouldn't show her anything if he shot Clark with kryptonite bullets and he died.
Right.
It would be like, you just shot a person.
Right.
And they died.
That happens to most of us. That happens to.
Just because the bullet was made of something else. I don't know, like
I love like, a way to kill a vampire is to chop their head off, like most things.
Like zombies, yeah.
Also a stake through the heart would also kill most things.
Their weakness, yeah.
So Clark is wearing a lead plate under his shirt. Clark visits Lex to let him know that Van has been taken into custody and placed in the psychiatric ward. Lex disagrees that Van is insane. He has decided that his several brushes with death are evidence that he really is special in some way. The next day, Sorry.
That scene opens up with Lex with like some drink in his hand, sitting over the grand piano with his fingers. He's just kind of like about to play something for about 5 seconds, thinking about it, and then Clark walks in.
Right.
Like it's like Rosenbaum doesn't know how to play the fucking piano, probably. So they're like, just be about to play a song, and like, oh shit, Clark's here.
Right.
We also get a wonderful Evil Wilson in that scene, where Lex talks about Winston Churchill.
Yes.
And then wouldn't Clark seem skeptical of Lex's, belief that maybe he's got superpowers? Wouldn't Clark be encouraging that line of thought from
that
Lex?
would make sense. I would mean just like, yeah, man, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Whoa,
Yes.
That explains a lot. Wow, man.
You totally do. Oh, that explains everything.
Clark, for someone who lies a lot, lie better. Lie more conveniently. Right. Take your fucking golden opportunities when you see them.
He is the greatest gaslighter in the world, and Lex is handing you this on a platter.
Right. Before I forget, in the previous scene, Lana hits the wall pretty hard. Does that count as a concussion? She doesn't knock out. This is the previous scene. She hits the wall hard, but she doesn't.
Lana does.
Yes.
Oh no! I think the spirit of it was that they lose consciousness, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times where people get hit in the head
right.
hard and they don't lose consciousness, and we can't.
You're right. All right.
No, I mean that's a great question.
Keeping us honest, yeah.
Did she get knocked out before though when he kidnapped her? No, it was just at gunpoint.
When I saw, I was waiting for it, because that's the classic Smallville writer's way out of these situations where Clark can get caught. So I was like a hawk for it. Okay, so the next day, Lana visits Clark. She tells him that she almost believed Van when he told her that Clark was bulletproof. She assures Clark that if meteor rocks infected him, it'd be okay. Clark says he might never be able to let anyone get close to him.
The fact that Pete knows about him being an alien and his superpowers, and Lana, he's still not telling Lana. It's fucking absurd.
It's buck wild.
Yes, it is, and it's only going to get more absurd. I mean, he doesn't tell her for some time, Brian,
and we're gonna keep doing this fucking dance.
Yes.
Lois does not become a viable romantic interest for many years.
No.
Just Lana.
They don't hit the gas on that until season 8. Right. Like Lana she'll show up next season and she's a big player, or sorry, Lois, she's a big player, but they don't push the romantic thing until Lana's out of the picture.
Which, you know what? Overall, kind of ballsy. They don't play with it.
Oh no, and I love it.
Yeah,
because then it finally comes and you're like, oh, and they don't like each other for a long time. It's great. It's fantastic.
It's good shit.
It's good. But really no reason. What's the reason for him not to tell her right now? He's worried about protecting her.
It's like they kind of make a whole thing of like, they really try to make it work with Pete. Like Pete gets overwhelmed, secret, right?
Right. Knowing his secret puts her in danger. Well, guess what, Clark? She's in danger every fucking week. She's in danger all
the time.
Right. I feel like not knowing has put her in much more danger.
Yeah, actually, it might in fact make her safer to be like, oh, call your boyfriend with superpowers.
Yeah, be more open with this guy who could save you, be on the same page. And then the other reason is that she would be mad at him because the meteor shower killed her parents. Which was reasonable at first. But now it's pretty clear that she would be cool.
Right.
And be like, hey, I love you. It wasn't your fault. You didn't have a choice.
Right. It don't make no sense. Okay.
It's just like, come on, Clark.
It's in Superman and Lois, there's a MacGuffin-y plot device kind of thing of this beacon that fires or sounds a signal, and basically Clark's whole thing is he gives it to his kids. So if you need something, I can hear this. That comes up a couple of times, and they need to make one of those fast here.
Solve a lot of problems.
It would solve a lot of fucking problems.
That scene had a kind of a weak needle drop. I felt like
I don't
It needed
even
something
remember
better.
it, which is a good indication that it's
Yeah.
not a good one.
Yeah.
So, moving on, Chloe attempts to delete the database from her computer, but finds she doesn't have access. Lionel appears in a school and tells her,
Yeah, not only that, like she walks into the room and then goes on the computer, and then was he waiting for her
just
in there
just
for a long
appears from the
time?
darkness of like, oh, she's
He was
Lionel
waiting
just hiding there, like
in
she'll
the
show up
school.
eventually, and it'll be very spooky.
I want to see the behind the scenes Lionel, like how he's like telling his driver, like, get there early. No, I want to get there early. I want to wait
For
in
a
the dark.
I want every episode to have a Lionel edition where we just see the entire story from Lionel's perspective.
But no, it is great writing because they really are. I'm sure it's intentional writing him like the devil who just appears.
Yes.
Hello.
It's great. Oh, we make fun, but it's so good. I wouldn't change a fucking beat.
Oh no, it's fantastic. We give them shit for a lot of things, but Lionel, mwah.
Perfect. So Lionel appears and tells her that the computer and their contents are property of the Luther Court Foundation. Chloe tells him that the file on Clark is not on this computer, but Lionel is interested in metahumans in general. He threatens her if she ever investigates a member of his family ever again.
Show up at a high school,
Yeah.
threaten a teenage girl.
No issues. No issues. Let's see. Let's move on. Let's see. We got featured music here. Oh man. We got Way Away by Yellow Card. We've got Give It to Me by Vis Hiss. We've got I Give You Take by Maria. And that weak needle drop is Goodbye Again by Vertical Horizon. Are you familiar with Vertical Horizon? They had a big hit.
They had a big hit. That wasn't it.
Right. No, that's fun. I didn't even know they had another fucking single. And they didn't based on I don't know if that's off of that oh my god, I remember that song in 6th grade hitting me. It's the what's that song called? I can hear it in my head, but it's like
Sing it,
he's
Brian.
Everything you want. He's everything you need.
Everything inside of you that you wish you could be. Yes.
Oh man.
Oh, no.
Oh man. Just
What's the name
earnest
of it?
6th grader, just like, ugh.
Yeah. Oh, this band gets it. Let's see. I'm looking it up. Vertical Horizon.
I'm sure it's the only one that'll come up.
Oh, okay. So it's called Everything You Want.
Well, there you go. Good song. Good pop song.
Oh yeah. I had the same experience where I was just
feeling it, baby. Okay, so I talked about something great on the Smallville Wiki this week. Zach, get this. There is a section here titled Lana and Chloe's Scorecard. For people listening audio, Zach's eyes just came alight.
I'm just so excited to find out what we're keeping score of.
So, I'm just gonna read down. I'm just gonna read down verbatim. We've got a quote here in italics. Chloe's been attacked by more of these people than me, Lana Lang. And
oh, we are not alone in our
Yes.
Smallville scholarship, and I appreciate it. I'm so excited. Okay,
so we have here two columns: lethal attempts against Lana, lethal attempts against Chloe.
Oh, that's so great.
We've got here lethal attempts against Lana, Tina Greer in X-Ray, Ian Randall in Dichotic, Emily Dinsmore's clone in Accelerate, and Jake Pollan in Extinction. That is 4 lethal attempts against Lana. Lethal attempts against... Oh, sorry. And then moving down, we've got non-lethal attempts against Lana. We have Greg Arkin in Metamorphosis. That's the Bug Boy. And we've got Byron Moore in Nocturne. Nocturne, a real come-up-from-behind award winner last season. So now we've got lethal attempts against Chloe. Walt Arnold from Hothead, Sean Kelvin in Cool, Justin Gaines in Crush, also Ian Randall in Dichotic. That was, of course, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And non-lethal attacks against Chloe, we've got a member of Wade Mahaney's gang in Kinetic. So, reading from the wiki here, actually, it would seem that as of this comment, they are even in the number of lethal attempts. However, Lana would be mistaken if she were only talking about all attacks.
Oh, that warms my heart. I've never felt such so simpatico with the Smallville wiki before.
I just applaud. I applaud that question needed answering.
Oh man, that's wonderful. That's really, and it's only attacks by Meteor people though that we're keeping track of.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, because that's what it's okay.
Right.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you, Brian.
I'm looking down through notes here. The actor pictured in Van's locker as Lieutenant McNulty is much older than the actor who played Lieutenant McNulty in Visage.
So that means they just couldn't get they were like, the guy who played him isn't old enough to be his dad. So
right.
Just put it.
Just put it.
Because they're like, no one's going to watch these shows back to back.
No one's going to talk about it on a fucking podcast. No. When Clark runs off to save Lex, the running clips are taken from the episode Ryan, when Clark runs hundreds of miles to get to the doctor. Wow, this episode's a real mess.
That's another, no one's going to watch this.
Right.
Like, that episode was a while ago.
It's overall, this episode, like, it's Freak of the Weeky, but, like, the Freak of the Week part is really, really, like, undercooked, and it's a lot of just like kind of hitting storyline stuff. We're doing a lot of like storyline building and not a lot of good storytelling.
Yes.
Because this Freak of the Week felt like an afterthought.
Brian, it's all about hate crimes.
It's actually kind of deep when you think about it.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
I'm part of the problem. We've got here. Lead is a soft metal and would be a poor choice for an anti-bullet armor. Even if reinforced by Clark's power, as tight-fitting clothes are often in Superman comics and media, it would be a suspicious choice for anyone not aware of them. Yet Lana never remarks on it, even after she had time to think on the matter.
Well, I don't think Lana's like an expert in metals.
Right. If I didn't know, I wouldn't expect Lana to know.
It's more the cops that I'm wondering are like.
Right. Let's see here.
What's going on?
Nothing too interesting in continuity. Nothing too interesting in spoilers. Kryptonite bullets will show up again. We'll see Van McNulty again in the show.
Oh, yeah. It comes back with JTT. Okay.
Oh, baby. What a team up. What if for a villain... Oh, shit. Zach, this is a couple years away. I was thinking for like a villain team up episode, but no, we have to do it when we get into like Justice League stuff on the show. We have to get everyone who's ever been a guest on our show on the show at once.
Okay, well, we need to start getting more guests then.
Yes, including Tom Welling.
But I also think, I was thinking about this the other day, we need to do another Cam episode.
We need to do another Cam episode. It's been a while since Cam's been on.
We get to pick an Emily one.
We get to pick an Emily one. What are we?
3.
Shit, should we pull up the episode list? What do we do?
Yes, let's pull up the episode. Let's figure this out.
Yeah. Okay, so we are, I'm clicking on to season 3.
By the way, next week's episode, I watched ahead because I was too lazy to hit stop on my DVD player.
I know that.
Really fun one.
Okay.
Week, actually, I liked it. It's a lot of fun. I think it might have been the Halloween episode because it's kind of spooky. It's good stuff.
Okay. Let's see. Listen to this. Whisper. Clark is temporarily blinded by his own heat vision.
Oh, yes.
He develops a super hearing to compensate.
Yes.
Oh, boy, that's a good one.
Wait. Are Emily's episodes going to be the one where he gets a new power? Is that our thing? Because she was in the heat boner.
Oh, you know what I really want, though? I really like the episode Obsession. That is the first Alicia Baker one. I think I want her for that one.
Great.
That's a really, really
Great.
good one.
You know how I feel. You know how
Uh,
I feel about that arc.
yeah. I think that's the one. Let's see. Are we good? Are we good to start wrapping this up?
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Great. This has been the Talon Mix. It's available wherever your podcasts are. We, of course, record live Sunday nights here at twitch.tv/Goblin Voice, but the audio version is available the following Friday wherever your podcasts live. Let's see. I have another show. It's called Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. That comes out on Wednesday mornings. And let's see. We just did an episode with Jenna Stieber about the Burke and Hare murders. And then this month, we have a ton of shows with a bunch of great interviews with a bunch of people in the paranormal community. Zach's coming on soon. Zach, we think we got you booked for next month. Excited for that. Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. I recommend it. I think it's a pretty good show. And finally, Zach, do you have anything to ask the Smallville gods while I load up the video file?
Yes. How long do I need to vamp while you load up the file? Because I can vamp.
No more vamping necessary.
Okay. So
thank you, sir.
My question to the Smallville gods is, will Lana get another stalker through the course of the show?
Good night, everybody. And we're clear.
Great.